Interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Well, a mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. For those of you listening to us in northern Michigan, they're saying, what in the world? We have sunshine. And yeah, you do. The northern half, the lower peninsula, looking at plenty of sun right now, and temperatures reflect it. Around these parts, we're a little bit cooler, and we do have a whole lot of clouds around. But as we sort through the afternoon hours here, we are going to begin to see some brightening, and eventually here, I want to say somewhere around 2:30, where you live, your backyard. If you're in the immediate Saginaw Bay City area, you should begin to see some sun. Midland, it'll warm up and brighten up a little bit quicker. But right now, Jonathan Dent, it looks as though things are a little bit cooler than what we've been accustomed to here at noon.
Yeah, fall is making those temperatures fall as we move through the month of August. Man, it's gone quick.
And we got a north breeze, too.
Yeah, north breeze at 12 miles per hour. We've got the airport reporting 69 degrees, Midland also 69. And here at Radio Center, we're leading the way at 70.
Wow, I'll take it. Bay City's looking at 69 degrees as well. It's all because of a high pressure system located over Minnesota and Wisconsin, right along the border. And that's what's pulling all of this cooler air down out of Canada right toward us. But it's going to be short-lived. The reason why, John, is off to the southeast of Michigan. We're talking in eastern Tennessee, West Virginia, around in there. We've got another high pressure system. And that one is going to be inching its way up towards southern Pennsylvania. And it's going to draft, not so much tonight as it will be tomorrow and on Sunday. It'll draft a lot more warmth and more humidity again. And there will be that chance of a shower, but I think it'll hold off till after midnight on Sunday night and sometime during the day on Monday. It appears right now as though the system that's going to be moving through right now is not developed well at all. So we're just going to have to keep our eye on it and just see what does develop. I think the best chance of any rain on Monday is going to be as we go through the afternoon hours on Monday night, and then probably the morning hours on Tuesday. And then things will begin to change as we go through the remainder of that particular whole scenario there. So what are we looking at as far as temperatures go? We got to have the sun to get there. 77. That's what we're looking at. So we'll take the double sevens. So put that on the table, and we'll bet with that. All right, John?
Yeah, well, it's going to heat up next week, but for now, we'll enjoy the cooler weather.
Yeah, and tonight, for those that are going to high school football or any outdoor activity, it's going to be pretty nice. Clear skies. 56. So take a windbreaker along.
That's what I was thinking. Get some long sleeves.
It might be a really good idea. Tomorrow, warm up a little bit, 80. High pressure is going to be over eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, inching its way up toward Pennsylvania. 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies, 60 for a low tomorrow night. And then moving into Sunday, we're going to have some 90s around. I don't know how warm we're going to get right here. I'm going to call it 88. So let's go. I like 77 today, 80 tomorrow, and then 88 on Sunday. I want to stick with the doubles. So clouds, though, in the evening, and it does appear as though as we roll into Monday, we are going to have a chance of showers, but it's going to be muggy. I'm looking for a high temperature on Monday of 88 degrees as well, and then clouds Monday night. We might not drop much below 69. For a low on Monday night. It's going to be warm. It's going to be muggy. Chance of showers. Tuesday, though, things will begin to clear out a little bit, but still middle 80s for a high on Tuesday with a chance of some showers around during the day, clearing off on Tuesday night. Then we start with Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for sure. And it does appear as though moving into the Labor Day weekend, very little, if any, chance of precipitation during that period of time. Temperature is going to be in the middle 70s for the second half of the work week. And right now, it looks like those middle 70s are going to stick around with us. as we work our way into the Labor Day holiday. But nobody's complaining. It does look as though it's going to be really nice. Precipitation over the last 24 hours, yeah, some of you got it again. There were a few of you that picked up rain that hadn't picked up the rain during the week. But to add insult to injury, some of the folks that were talking better than 3-4 inches, they got another half inch overnight. So I don't know where they're sticking all the water, but hopefully they better bottle it for one of these dry spells that we might come up with, John. We should, in the month of August, get right around maybe a little bit better than 3 3/4 inch of rain for the whole month. Well, some folks got almost double that in 36 hours.
That's what I was going to say. Midland got that yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, it was in the Loons. I guess they played ball and it was raining last night, but they had to get that in. It was a doubleheader.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know how late that doubleheader went. I think it was after midnight before they finally closed the gates there. Record high in this state is 95, set back in 1948. The record low is 43, set way back in 1904, tied in 1944, and then tied in 1946. A year ago today, 88 was our high, 69 was our low, no rain. For the month of August a year ago, out at the airport, 2.33 inches of rain. So far this month, 3.53 inches of rain. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Gary Kaufman standing by over at Star of the West, John.
Oh, yes. We'll have a look at the markets when we come back.
I think he's going to be jumping for joy, too.
I hope so.
Yeah, this commercial better run real quick, okay?
Yeah.
Before everything turns south on us. We want to remind you right now, though, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant today. This reminder, a week from today, John, we're going to be out in Fairgrove. The Michigan Bean Festival kickoff day is next Friday, and that goes all weekend long. They've got a big parade on Monday, plenty of food. They've got kids' games, bake sales, cornhole tournaments, volleyball tournaments, pedal pulls, classic car show, carnivals, crafts, vendors, you name it. They got 3 nights of motorsports action, including a bump and run and a figure-8 demo derby and a farm truck race. That ought to be interesting.
Farm truck race.
There you go. Well, Craig Voorhees is going to join us a little bit later on. We're going to talk about those farm trucks, okay?
All righty.
But before we get to all of that, we've got Gary Kaufman on the line from Star of the West. Gary, good morning.
Good morning there, Terry.
Well, we set the headline for you.
Yes, you did. Yeah, and, we're getting back all that negative numbers we got yesterday. We're getting it all back here today, and not quite all, and the corn we did, but beans and the wheat are almost there. But anyways, yeah, cash wheat's up 19 right now, Terry, at $7.59 on the white, $7.09 on the red. New crop for next year up 19 as well at $8.13 on the white, $7.63 on the red. Cash corn up 11 at $6.58. New crop corn also up 11 at $6.06. Cash soybeans up 23 at $15.44, and new crop, let's call it up 23 as well, and that puts it at $13.89.
Now, I know we were working through a period of time here where we were having a difficult time selling product. The folks that had committed, decommitted, and of course that didn't help our markets much at all. Then we came into this weather scenario, And I got a funny feeling that's continuing to influence the market today.
Yeah, definitely so, Terry. I mean, the Pro Farmer Tour that's going on, last month the USDA had they did ratchet down a national yield on corn to 175.4, and of course the private analysts are already indicating 173 to 174 bushel per acre ballpark number. A lot of issues, drought impacted states like Nebraska, South Dakota. We're looking at some of the major producing states, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota. They're better, but not a bumper crop by any means. And then we grapple with the China issues. They got some extreme drought in some of their southern crop areas, and with their lockdowns, I guess they took them off now. But China did return this week to buy some soybeans, and plenty of rumors in the works for some more. So, maybe the demand is going to drive this thing along with weather as we move forward here, Terry. And it's good to see these kind of rallies when you look at where the prices of corn and beans and wheat are for this time of year heading into harvest. It's the highest it's been in quite some time for this period in time. So.
It is a little unusual. Well, you have yourself a great weekend. I was going to ask you, any of the guys told you anything about the dry beans, how far along they are? I'm beginning to see some changes in the color.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last I heard, the guys thought maybe right after Labor Day we'd probably start getting into some of those for sure. So.
Okay. You have a great weekend, Gary.
All right. Thanks, Terry. You do the same.
You bet. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Doug Klein standing by. Right, John?
Oh, yes. But first, our market report is brought to you today by Schaefer and Beerline. Are you ready to upgrade to a new Ram truck for your family farm? Now is the time to order your new Ram 1500, 2500, or 3500. So you should see the folks at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth. They're the Great Lakes Bay certified ag dealer. They specialize in all models of new Ram commercial trucks and vans, and ordering is the way to go. You can buy with confidence from Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth since 1852, where family and service sells cars. And by the folks at Thumb Bank. They've been serving agriculture for over 125 years. They've got 2 locations in Bay City, also Cass City, Caseville, Pigeon, Bad Axe, and recently in Marlette. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. Now, to round out this end of the week market report, let's bring it in with a strong close here from Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Doug?
Wishful thinking.
Okay. I try to stay positive.
Oh, boy. Well, the Fed finished their meeting in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and Powell came out and said, we're going to remain fairly aggressive, 0.5 to 0.75 of a point increase in the interest rates next month, for sure. And then Meester came out and said, yeah, we got to do that. And then Bostic came out and he said, yeah, we got to do that. So we had 3 guys talking loud, and basically they took out the support out of the stock market. So we're down about 500 on the Dow, and about almost 2% on the S&P, about 2.5% on the NASDAQ. So our guys are still saying over the next 5 years we're going to average in the area of 12% recovery in the stock market. So I guess it's just a short-term thing. We got to put up with these one day dips and upswings and whatnot. But I guess that's what we're dealing with all the markets nowadays. Gasoline's sitting at $2.58 right now, so sort of implies that we could see $3.25 at the pump.
Are you ready?
Better. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of push them, Doug. Push them.
That'd be nice, but
Yeah.
it's probably going to be after the holiday weekend for sure. So anyway, here's your numbers. The September corn 667 3/4, up 10 1/4. December corn 661 3/4, up 11 3/4. And the September of 2023 corn is 623 3/4, up 8 3/4. The November soybeans 1457.5, up 26. The March soybeans 1462 1/4, up 24.5. And the November of 23 soybeans 1381.5, up 21.5. September wheat is 788.5, up 18 3/4. December wheat is 807 3/4, up also 18 3/4. And the July of 23 wheat is 833.5, up 19.5 cents. Crude oil at 92.73, up 21 cents. The heating oil is 393.23. There's just no relief there. That's up a nickel. And the gasoline is 258.39. That's down 6.8 cents. Natural gas at 945.9. That's up 4 cents. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys you $1.30 Canadian. That's up 76 ticks. The dollar buys you 137 yen. That's up 53 ticks. The euro's at $1 even. That's up 33 ticks. The dollar's at 108.44, down 2.5 ticks. Gold is at $17.41, down $16.70. Silver's at $18.93, down 19 cents. Platinum's at $862.10, down $11.80.
You have a great weekend, Doug. All righty?
Yep, you too.
Talk to you later. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. We have Chuck Lipster on the line right now with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. Understand you were kind of up around maybe our territory a little bit, but at least you were around the state of Michigan this week, Chuck. What was going on?
No, Terry, you're spot on. Up to your neck of the woods here this week. Spent a couple days sort of all over the thumb, but the flagship activity that we had was our last big policymaker tour of the congressional recess. We had Congresswoman Lisa McClain join the team at Nutrient Ag Solutions over in Brown City for a tour of the facility there, discussion of some big issues in the industry. Representative McClain, who of course represents that part of our state, has been a great leader for agriculture, has stepped up and has reached out to our industry since she took office, which we appreciate. And so it was great to have her over at the Nutrient there in Brown City, talk about some of the big issues that we're dealing with as an industry in Washington, and thank her for her support as well.
Optimistic? Would that be a good word to describe the tour?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great when we've got a member of Congress out to one of our member locations. And this is, as I mentioned, it was the last one we did here at the recess. We've done events with Representative Pluck in mid-Michigan, Representative Kildee up there in the Saginaw Valley region. One of the things that we're very lucky to have in our state is a congressional delegation that's engaged, right? They want to get out there. They want to hear from the industry. One of the things we can do at the association is connect them. But by the way, Terry, we can't do that if we don't have member businesses who are willing to take the time out of their busy day to show a member of Congress or a state leader around their operation. So I really appreciate the Nutrient Ag Solutions team right there in Brown City for taking the Congresswoman around on a tour.
Sounds good. Chuck, have a nice weekend. We'll talk again next week. All right?
Thanks, sir.
You bet. Chuck Lipster with the Michigan Agribusiness Association. Craig Voorhees joining us right now. And Craig, let's talk a little bit about getting those trucks out of cold storage.
Yes, Terry. I'm not sure I can hear you real well. Are you there?
I'm here. Are you there?
I'm trying.
Okay. Craig, let's talk a little bit about farm trucks, okay?
Yes, right. I heard you mention some farm truck racing earlier, and yeah, that's not going to be covered by your auto policy, just an FYI. But we're going into harvest soon. Hopefully, it'll be nice and smooth, but make sure if you're one of those folks that takes the coverage off the trucks, make sure you put it back on before you take the truck out of the shed and hit the road with it. We always get tripped up by that. You think you made the call, but you didn't, and then you call it in to take them off, and everybody's kind of like, uh-oh. So not a fan of that practice. I mean, hopefully you're talking with your agent about some of the companies have really good discounts for the trucks that only get driven occasionally, but yet you leave them insured for the whole year, so you don't have to worry about those little snafus and hiccups. So have that conversation and see if it's right for your operation.
Yeah, and maybe there's a company that you've slipped over that does offer a pretty good policy.
Pardon me? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, maybe there's a company out there that you've slipped over that possibly has pretty good coverage that you haven't investigated.
Right. Yes. It's a lot of the companies are adding those discounts. They're increasing them. So if you haven't had the conversation in a while, it's worth revisiting it.
Very good. Craig, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again next week. All right.
All right. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it.
You bet. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Over to Midland we go. Soggy Midland. Chuck Cervinsky from Maple Hill Nursery talking to us right now. And I got a funny feeling we won't have to really dig very hard to start to dig holes for planting, huh?
No, we got a little rain over here, and September is right around the corner next week, and that's going to be the start of our fall planting season. This weather we've had and what's forecasted into next week is going to be optimal for fall planting, and many of our perennial flowers, such as peonies, daylilies, and phlox, can be divided now as they're starting to die off for fall. You're going to want to dig the old clumps out with a fork and split the crowns into several sections using a spade or a knife, and you want to make sure that each clump contains part of the crown with several buds and a large part of the root system. And if you can do that, you're going to be successful. And you're going to want to make sure that you prepare your planting hole with a good mix of compost, such as dairy dew, which we all use and replant. And you don't want to plant it too deep or mulch, and then mulch and water in any new plantings. It's also a great time to plant trees and shrubs. The soil is actually warmer now than it was in the spring back in April. And there's plenty of time yet for roots to get established. And they can grow, roots can in soil as cold as 40 degrees, and soil remains warm long after the air temperature drops at night in the fall.
And I'm sure you've got a lot more tips to hang on to hand out to people as far as planting the trees and shrubs. How do they get a hold of you, Chuck?
They can get a hold of us here at the store at 989-835-4708. You can also visit our website, www.maplehillmidland.com.
And not only the expertise, but also the products to help fertilize the newly planted stuff. And as far as the trees go, just real quick, my guess is wait until the leaves are done and then you can plant the trees.
You can really start planting anytime you want now. We don't really stop. I mean, the summer months are really a good time to plant. You have to water a little bit more, but the ground temperature is warmer and the roots tend to respond well to that.
Very good. Chuck Cervinsky, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. New information is expected any moment. A court deadline's just passed for the release of a redacted version of the FBI affidavit spelling out what was behind the search of former President Trump's Florida estate. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney David Weinstein on what we might learn.
It may give some details about how long this investigation has been going on, whether it's been going on for months or whether it's been going on for a year. The benefit of transparency is going to be to let everybody know exactly what took place and to prevent people from trying to guess what's going on here.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell